Hey guys, so today I have swatches of the Glitter Daze Sweet Dreams collection. There are 7 polishes here all together. Different colors of generally the same finish, all jellies with different kinds of shimmer in them, different colors of shimmer. So I will link the Glitter Daze website down below where you guys can check these out because they are available right now, and I will get into the swatches. So this first polish is called Daydream, and I'm going to read the descriptions off of the website for these just to make sure I don't miss any elements. This is described as an off-white jelly with pink and gold green shifting shimmer and hollow silver microflakes. The pictures on the website, I will say, look a little more off-white than my bottle does in person. Mine's looking like pretty decently white. I also have a very broken pinky nail. I filmed a different video earlier before I had filed the other nails down to match, but that one's going to be going up after this one because I just deleted parts of it that I needed off of my memory card. That's how today has gone. So don't be confused as my nail length changes drastically. This was meant to come after the next video. Anyway, this is pretty sheer on that first coat. It is a jelly. There is a lot of that shimmer and a lot of those flakies coming out. I do have a little bit of pooling here that I'm going to try to even out. Good formula on this one, not too thick, not too thin. You do have to be careful that it doesn't pool to the sides of the nail. It's not that it's running there, it's just kind of depositing there as I'm applying it, if that makes any sense. It's not moving there after it goes on the nail. It's just squishing down there. So this one is building up a bit on that second coat. Still a bit sheer, and there are still a few streaks that you can see in there. Not terrible, but they're there. And that first coat did dry very smooth. There are holographic flakes in there, and they almost look like they could be a little bit textured, but they're totally smooth. So this one builds up even more on that third coat. You can see those streaks do pretty much go away, and you do get a little bit more opacity out of that base as well. I am noticing that the contrasting pink orangey shimmer that's in here stands out much stronger after everything is completely dry. So with 3 coats here, I can still see a little bit of nail line, and I do still have a few streaks. The streaks a lot are going to come down to your application. The nail line's probably just going to be there. So that is 3 coats of Daydream. The next polish is called Lullaby, and this is described as a light gray with pink, gold, orange shifting shimmer and hollow silver microflakies. Here it is next to Daydream, so you can see the difference there. Actually, Daydream, once I stick these two together, Daydream looks way more off-white than it did when I was just looking at it alone. So this one is also a bit sheer on that first coat. This one doesn't seem to want to kind of deposit on, oops, that's a fuzzy. This one doesn't seem to want to deposit on the sides of the nail as much as the last one did. Even then, though, that wasn't that big of a deal after that first coat was done. And good formula on this also. So this one is starting to build up on that second coat. This polish was really, really even. I had a few streaks when it was wet, but you can see as it dried, I mean, it dried pretty, it's sheer, so that's probably why. But it did dry with pretty much none of that streakiness, and the second coat's looking really good also. And the shimmer is standing out nicely. I mentioned before that you won't need top coat to smooth any of the sparkly elements out in this, but you won't have to scrub to remove them from the nail either, but you might have a few stray sparkles stuck to the skin after the polish comes off. So this one does build up pretty nicely on that third coat. It is a little more opaque than that last one. I feel like I can still see a little bit of nail line through it. If you have a very, very white nail line, it's probably going to be a little bit more obvious. And while I suggest top coat anyway, it does dry pretty shiny. So that is 3 coats of Lullaby. The next polish is called Dreamland, and this is described as a periwinkle blue with pink, gold, orange shifting shimmer and hollow silver flakies. So this one is also sheer on that first coat. It's a jelly. You do get a good amount of flakies, and that shimmer stands out really nicely. I have a little bit of polish on the sides of my pointer finger, but then I tried to thin my coats out moving on from there, and it's not nearly as bad. So thin coats. So this one does start to build up on that second coat. You can see that blue color comes out much more, and it's hard to say. I was going to say the shimmer is going to stand out more against the blue, but it's hard to say right now because the shimmer stands out more when it's dry, and only the more sheer coat is dry, but it's still standing out well. And again, this does dry smooth. So this one does build up really nicely on that third coat. That blue gets a little bit more opaque. The contrast in person between 2 and 3 coats is even more than I think is showing up on camera. If I look very closely, I can still see a few streaks, but I really have to look for them. So that is 3 coats of Dreamland. The next polish is called Nirvana, and this is described as an aquamarine green with orange, gold, green shifting shimmer and hollow silver flakies. So this one is also sheer on that first coat. It is a jelly. And try to, there we go, just get rid of that little bit of pooling there. That was just from me having too much polish on. I feel like this one has a little bit more color to it on the first coat than any of the other ones so far. And good formula on this one as well. So this one does start to build up pretty nicely on that second coat. I can see a few bald spots, but not terrible. This definitely has more color to it. And that like orangey gold shimmer that's in there is also standing out really nicely against that green. So this one does cover completely in 3 coats. I think if you have a very white nail line, you might be able to see a little bit of it through this one, but it's not going to be very obvious. And you might have a few streaks depending on your application as well, and this is coming from someone whose application is not exactly an A+. I think that would be really difficult to make this one look streaky in 3 coats. So that is 3 coats of Nirvana. The next polish is called Fantasy, and this is described as a lavender jelly with pink, gold, green shifting shimmer, and hollow silver microflake. So this one is pretty sheer on that first coat. It's more of, I mean purple is not a skin tone color, but it's more of a skin tone color than like a green or blue, so it is coming off a little bit more sheer. Because this is a very pink leaning purple. One minute I look at it and I would describe it as purple, and then the next second I look at it and I would describe it as pink. And good formula on this one as well. So this one is starting to build up a bit on that second coat. Still looking pretty sheer though, but I think that's a lot to do with the color. Still can't decide if it's pink or purple. So this one does look like it covers completely on the third coat. It was looking pretty good in 2. I just felt like I should probably do 3 anyway. I do feel like you get a little bit more of that purple color out of the third coat, which actually looks a lot more purple to me once the third coat is on there. And even looking at this one really, really closely, I can't see any streaks or any nail line. So that is 3 coats of Fantasy. The next polish is called Slumber Party, and this is described as a peachy bubblegum pink jelly with gold, green, blue shifting shimmer and those little holographic microflakes. So this one is a bit sheer on the first coat, but probably the most opaque out of all of them so far. There's a lot of color in that base, and that green shimmer is standing out really nicely against that color. And good formula on this one as well. So this one does build up really nicely on that second coat. You can see that color gets a lot brighter. Even though the color is very saturated, there is still some nail line showing because at the end of the day it is still a jelly. So I'm going to do a third coat. But I think as far as contrasting shimmer goes, this one has the best combination of the pink and that goldy green, so it stands out really, really strongly. So this one covers up almost completely on that third coat. If I look very closely, I can still see a little bit of nail line. I think you do get an even better pink color out of that third coat, and the shimmer on this one is just insane. So that is 3 coats of Slumber Party. And the last polish is called Lucid, and this is described as a coral jelly with purple, pink, blue shifting shimmer and holographic microflakes. I almost forgot to mention those, which is why I'm looking up the website descriptions in the first place. So this one is a little bit more jellyish on that first coat than the last one was, a little bit more sheer. The shimmer doesn't seem to be quite as strong yet either, but good formula. So this one does build up a little bit more on that second coat. The orange color gets a little bit deeper. I also feel like that shimmer is standing out a little bit more against the deeper color as well. So this one does build up even more color on that third coat. How did I miss my cuticle? That last swipe was completely out of control. If I turn my hand towards me and look, I can still see some nail line. And I think the shimmer on this one is, it's showing up really well on camera, but in person I think the shimmer is probably the most subtle out of all of them because it does seem to be predominantly pink, which along with the orange jelly just blends a little bit more together. So that is 3 coats of Lucid. I'm torn because Slumber Party it's pink and gold, but the green, the shimmer shifts a little bit green, which doesn't make it like my usual pink and gold combo that I love so much, but I do still really like this. And then Dreamland also because it's blue with pink shimmer, which is like a close second for me to gold with pink. So those two are my favorites. So that is the Glitter Daze Sweet Dreams collection. Again, those are available right now, so I will link at the website down below. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.